You should be as confident as you can be without crossing the line into arrogance, and here's why. Arrogant people stop growing. Arrogant people stop developing because arrogant people think they have arrived.
Subordinating your ego is actually the ultimate form of self-confidence. That level of confidence earns respects.
The big thing about being tough is people thought, you'd be able to throw punches, but it's really about endurance.
You survive in environments other people drown in.
Confidence is a skill set. If you want to be the best in the world at what you do, I believe confidence is arrogance under control. You should be as confident as you can be without crossing the line into arrogance, and here's why. Arrogant people stop growing. Arrogant people stop developing because arrogant people think they have arrived. I give you 3 days to throw a pity party. No matter what you're doing, you're crying about bureaus, you're crying about dates, you're crying about fees, you're crying about product. I give you 3 days to throw your pity party, and after 3 days, you better come up with the plan. I came home and threw me a 3-day pity party, then I came up with a plan. I'm going back to high school. I'll be starting a baseball team, basketball team, football team, president of the journalism club. My classmates will vote me most likely to succeed. 4 years later, I'll start a baseball team, basketball team, football team, president of the journalism club. And my classmates voted me most likely to succeed. I made one mistake. I crossed the line of confidence and I became arrogant. I became one of the top basketball players in the country. I got recruited from coast to coast, and that's how I learned how to sell. Trainer, you don't want to be a tough decision. You want to be a no-brainer. I do 100 programs a year because I believe to my clients and bureaus, I'm not a tough decision. I'm a no-brainer. So here I am about to make a tough decision, the biggest decision of my life, and nobody stood out. No one differentiated until one day my doorbell rang. And all of a sudden, a man stood at my door and he changed the game.
Subordinating your ego is actually the ultimate form of self-confidence. That level of confidence earns respect. So while the initial thought or feeling might be that you back down, you've actually shown that you have the strength and confidence to give the other person credit, and they will recognize and respect that confidence either consciously or subconsciously. They feel it. Echo Charles, when you're getting ready to roll jiu-jitsu, and you have never rolled with this person before, and you lock up with them, you know, right? You can feel it. Now, yes. Whether you want to admit it or not, you know. Yeah. And that's what this does. When someone says, hey, you know what, go ahead and run with that. And Dave might think, well, that's right, I'm going to run with it because my plan was better. And in the back of his mind, he thinks, man, like when someone says, oh, you want to start a cross side? That's basically what you're saying. You want to start in a dominant position? Go ahead. It's fine with me. I'm so confident in my jiu-jitsu that you can basically start anywhere. You can start in a totally dominant position and I'm going to be fine. When you subdue your ego, when you subordinate your ego, you might be thinking, I'm going to start on the mountain, I'm going to kill you. Yeah. And you think that, right? And you feel powerful. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, maybe subconsciously you're thinking, wow, this person is confident. This person knows that they're going to win. Yeah. And so that's the same thing that happens here. They will recognize and respect that confidence either consciously or subconsciously. It says, and that is the truth. To put your ego in check, to subordinate your ego, you must have incredible confidence. If you find you cannot put your ego in check because you're afraid it might make you look weak, then guess what? You are weak. Don't be weak. Subordinate your ego, build relationships, and win the long game.
You can either have success or revenge, but you can't have both.
Yeah.
You can't. The big thing, growing up, I cared what everyone thought. Especially when you're in that world like that, everyone's opinion mattered way too much, And so where I'm really progressing to is this thing where I find my tribe, not impressing people that I would probably never really hang with in any way. You know what I mean? That used to be my life, trying to impress a whole bunch of people that I would never really call friends in the first place. And so now it just really became about finding the people that I connect with. And what's wild is I got in a lot of trouble even over the pandemic when I made it a declaration that I decided to unite with good people. No matter the race, the creed, the color, the ideology, that I was going to unite with good people. And people got mad over it because a lot of people want to fight. But I said at the end, I said, I'm gonna die on this hill. I choose to die on this hill. And it's hard though. And let me say, everything I'm talking about today is tough. It's a level of toughness. The big thing about being tough is people thought, you'd be able to throw punches, but it's really about endurance. It's really about being able to take them, being able to be alone, being able to stand alone in who you are, knowing that you're good. Because a lot of people calling you all kinds of things, especially since I'm in the public eye. It takes time. It's not overnight. And I would never encourage anybody to just go test it out. You know what I mean? It's something that takes years and years. But you gotta start exercising it. Intelligent decision making sometimes requires that you forget what you've lost and reevaluate the situation as it exists today. Forget what pained you. Forget that you have to actually let go of all that grief and all that get back and all that revenge and reevaluate the situation. And you can make a real, true, intelligent decision. You got to assemble yourself. Yourself, not leave it to somebody else to do it. It's your job.
You may fall down, but you do not stay down. You can't. You won't. You come back from anything. You see obstacles as platforms, not problems. And sometimes when you are going through something, there are people in your family that might be going through the same thing. So what God will do is he will use your problem as a platform to elevate himself, so that people around you can see him through you and realize they can have victory in their life because of the victory that you're having in yours. Maybe that battle with depression is a platform. Maybe that difficult child is a platform. Maybe God is trying to use it to elevate you so that people can see what he can do in your life. If this is true, then what this means is that when you go through problems, your first reaction to a problem can't be to complain. I'm about to step on a toe, so please put on your shoes. It means that your first reaction to a problem is not to complain, but to rejoice. Problems are actually supposed to make you rejoice. You survive in environments other people drown in.